Today, I'm gonna make a dog feeder stand and I'm gonna customize it for some friends of mine down in Texas. So in a couple weeks, my wife and I were taking a trip down to Arkansas and we're gonna stop off in Texas to see some friends we haven't seen in years. They recently lost their pup and they are dog fanatics. Well, they got a new one and I figured I'd make them a gift because they're gonna let us stay at their house for a few days. To make this, we used old redwood pickets that we got from another buddy in California. So the material literally cost me nothing. The only thing I paid for it was for the bowls, and I got those at Dollar General for like $7. We used our 60-degree bit to do all the carving except for the edge. For that we used our 45-degree chamfer bit. We used 2-inch fatty font and also our puppy paw template. So you can find all the stuff we used for the carving aspect of this at our website, makeawoodsign.com, and I'll also leave links in the description below so you can go check it out. All right, guys, let's get started. Real quick, guys, we'll get back to the build in just a second. I want to let you know that the router bits I used, the base plates, the stencils, everything that we used for carving on this project, you can find on our website, makeawoodsign.com. A lot of people ask where to begin. We have beginner's kits if this is brand new to you that comes with everything you need to get started. So go check out makeawoodsign.com, and also don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We got a ton of cool stuff coming up. All right, I got my top all glued up. I cut the pickets down to 3 3/4 by 30 inches. And I made it really big because I didn't have the bowls yet. But we finally got the bowls. We found these at Dollar General for like $7 a piece. So I think this is a little too big. So what I need to do now is I have to take it out of the clamps, cut it down to the exact size I want, and sand it off and get it ready to make the marks for the bowls and to carve it. All right, so now we got our top all sanded off, and I forgot to hit record when I rounded the corners, but I did that on our belt sander. And if you've never seen us do that, I'll put a link in the description of a sign that we rounded the corners. It takes like 30 seconds, super easy. So the tricky part about this is these bowls have a lip, which is how they're gonna sit on there. So I had to find something. I stole one of Mom's Tupperware lids, but don't tell her. I had to find something that was exactly the right dimension as the inside of the bowl. And even then, I'm probably still gonna have some sanding to do. So I'm gonna make my marks where the bowls go, then I'm gonna cut them out, then I'm gonna lay it out and spray it and get ready to carve. So oddly enough, it worked. I am awful with a jigsaw. So I'm still going to sand it up and clean them up a little bit. But for now, I'm going to put Beans' name on here, which is Johnny and V's dog, and then a couple little paw prints. So let's get to it. Alright, so it's all carved. I did end up losing a little area of the corner where there was a knot, but I don't think that's a big deal. I'd rather it didn't happen, but what are you going to do, you know? So now I just am going to go in and I'm going to sand all this just to make it smooth. And it's not that it's going to be seen, but just when Johnny or V are taking their dog bowls out to wash them or whatever, I just want it to have a nice smooth grain to it, so there's no splinters or anything like that. All right, so I'm gonna put a ton of clear on this because this is a big dog. I think he's a French, no, not a French bulldog. I think he's a pit bull, I think, not sure. Anyway, put a ton of clear on this because there's gonna be a water bowl in here and we wanna make sure it's plenty protected from all the water. So while this is drying and as I'm putting coats on throughout the day, let's go figure out exactly what we need for the rest of the stand. All right guys, so I just came in the garage to do my measurements and stuff, shut the door for lighting. There's a dove in here. It scared the crap out of me. I wish I would have hit record, man. I freaking jumped so high. Let's see if we can find him. Where you at? Get out of here. Go, come on. Come on. Come on. Stupid bird. Go. Ah. All right, well, let me get this bird out of here so it doesn't run into my face while I'm running the table saw or something, and then we'll get back to it. All right, so I figured out, as far as width goes, my top is about 14 inches. So I need two pieces at 12 inches, and I'm gonna make them about 3 inches wide. That way I might not have to put runners in between the legs to make sure it's stable. Once I get those pieces cut and fit on there, then I'll be able to measure and see exactly what size I need the long pieces for the apron, I think it's called. Yeah, apron. So what I did was I cut two at 12 by 3.5, and then I cut two at 24 by 3.5, and that should be just about right. And obviously I sanded all the stain and all the rough grain. Now the top has about 7 coats on it, and I'm going to put a lot more, but I let it dry and I need to flip it over, hence the moving blanket, and make sure that these are exactly what I want. Now for the legs, Dad had a good idea. I have an old redwood 2x4 that we cut down to 2 inches for some reason or another. So I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to cut 4 pieces at 14 inches, and those will be the legs. Now I think what I have to do in order to attach the whole base to the top, I really don't want any screws coming in from the top, but I might end up doing that. But I'm going to try to cut a little plywood square and set it on here and make it a little bit bigger, and then use that to attach it, but not sure how that's going to work. Let's find out. All right, so I got my legs cut. The little square of plywood on the top did not work because there's not enough room for that where the holes for the dog bowls are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue and screw each one of the legs into the corners. Then I'm going to sand it all off, make it look really nice. Then I'm going to figure out how I'm going to attach the top to it. So we'll see. All right. All right. If I seem shocked, it's because I am. It ain't perfect, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there can do way better at this than me, but all I do is carve. I'm not much of a builder, maker type guy, but I like it. I like it. So now I got to figure out exactly how I want to secure the top onto the base. I'd rather not use screws from the top if I can help it, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm gonna throw some clear on this and then think. All right, I got one coat of clear on here. I'm gonna put more, but I think I figured it out. I found 3 of these little L-angle brackets, and I think if I put 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom, that'll work. I'm also gonna glue the legs and the base of the skirt, so I might have to go get a couple more of these, but for right now all I got is 3, so I think it'll work. And these are real small little 1/2-inch screws, so I made sure first that I was not going to go through the face. All right, there we go. About 10 or 20 more coats of clear and we're ready to roll. Dude, not only am I stoked that this thing came out so nice, I'm pretty shocked because like I said before, not really a carpenter or a fine woodworker, but trust me guys, this was an easy build because if I can do it, then pretty much anybody that can read a tape measure can do it. So again, I will leave everything in links down below for that we used for the carving. Check out makeawoodsign.com and I hope Johnny and V like it. I think they will. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.